Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the TAE Time Podcast. How y'all doing?
How'd you get your voice so many octaves?
Lower. Yesterday you said octaves higher. It's octaves
Yeah, because you can go like too high for your voice.
Yeah, I can also go very high. Yeah, I can go very high. I can go very low.
Tell us about your singing days.
My singing days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to be in the choir when I was young. And I used to really enjoy singing. I still enjoy singing. And I had a beautiful voice.
You have a
Had.
gorgeous voice.
I had a beautiful voice. Singing voice, and it was really nice. But then my voice, boom, puberty slapped, deep voice.
I didn't meet you before puberty hit you, so I have no idea what you sounded like. I was bummed out.
Everyone gave me shit because I had a very high pitched voice.
Is there any videos that your parents have of you singing and stuff? Like maybe I could.
My mom might have. We do have some stuff of my old when we were in primary school. We used to have like all those multicultural days where we do like acting. And stuff. My mom would have those, but God knows they've never seen the light of day. But yeah, no, I did enjoy the choir, and I never kept it up, so I can't sing. And the only reason I learned I could have sang as a baritone. But too late for that. Now I'd say, well, it's never too late. I could relearn, honestly, but we'll never
like
be the
it's
same.
rare to have people with such low voice as you, so
Boom shakalaka.
I'm sure they'd be happy to have you on.
Boom headshot.
They would. So tell me more about the cultural days. Actually, were you in like a mixed school?
Yeah,
or?
we were in Educate Together National School.
Okay.
If you're in Ireland, you might know what that means. It's pretty much the only public. All schools in Ireland are public, pretty much. There are private schools, but pretty much all schools in Ireland are public. But it's like the only fully run government school, right? In Ireland.
Do you not pay for anything? Or is there uniforms?
No uniforms. There's no uniforms.
Okay, you don't pay for anything.
You wear your own clothes, and it's just is what it is. And it's the idea. It's multicultural, multifaceted, everything. Like now they're super like pride friendly, culture friendly. Obviously, like that's the idea behind the school. It's always been the case. So like, but in truly, it was just all the foreigners, like me, chilling there. So we had multicultural days because everyone was from different places where it was like everyone would wear their cultural clothing. They teach people about your culture, may even bring your cultural food and stuff.
Did you teach people about the culture, or did your teacher have like a...
No, like your parents would like help you.
Your parents come in?
Oh, yeah, everyone comes in and stuff.
God.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It had every year, once a year. It was pretty cool, to be honest. Chile Educate to get to National School, very good primary school. I enjoyed it.
That's amazing.
It helped grow me into the person I am now. But yeah, and that's the kind of stuff. It was pretty cool,
Yeah.
And also didn't have to wear a uniform. Like I didn't know what a uniform was until secondary school. So like when I went to secondary school and I had to wear it, I was like, what the fuck is this? So I was like, why?
Let me tell you about those cultural days. So like, we had them too, but it was like an all-girls school or whatever. And like, my mom never came in. Maybe like she'd come in to bring whatever she made in, but it was mostly
what Romanian food was it?
It was just sweeties. It was just no, it was just sweeties because my mom likes to bake, so it was very easy for me because people would like love that. But there are a lot of people who brought like actual like foods, and I've never seen so much hate from people. Like they'd be like, ew, what is that?
What is that?
Like I don't want to eat that. Like, and all this stuff.
We never had that. Everyone was willing to eat everything.
Like I say, like people were trying. Obviously, the teachers are very like open and were like, do not say anything bad about anyone's dish. But yeah. And you know what? This memory recently came to me, and I was sharing this with my mom. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but like, okay. I actually don't think I can. It's making me so like embarrassed.
Well, no, you have to say it. You have to say it now.
So basically, I can't.
No, you have to say it now. You actually have to tell the story. You can't, you literally can't leave us hanging. If you are that embarrassed, it's even better content. Like, think of the TikTok clips.
Okay. So, in Romania, right, for your birthday, you would bring in, sweets for your birthday.
Yeah, we bring sweets. Like other people, like, you know, if you want to have a birthday party in school, you have to bring sweets and a cake and everyone.
Yeah, but it was just like a thing that like, you know, like kids did like back home on their birthdays, but it wasn't even everyone. It was just kind of like, it was a tradition, but not everyone kept up, because obviously not everyone could afford to bring sweets or whatever. But it was just like a box or like whatever cheap stuff that you found. So when we came to Ireland, my mom made me do that.
Oh, she made you do that. Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, you got to bring sweets for everyone in your class because it's your birthday.
I can't. My makeup is running off my face and everything. Just rethinking back to everything. But like,
And you knew no one, and you could hardly speak English. And you were just there like, And everyone's like, the fuck? What was she giving us?
I'm weak. Because you know damn well, like, I started school in September. My birthday was...
It's in December, so it was at the end of the semester.
Look at this. Tears rolling down my face. Yeah, it was really embarrassing. It was really, really embarrassing. And everything...
But why was it embarrassing? Was it just because, like, your mom gave you sweets? But, like, I feel like that shouldn't be embarrassing because all the kids are like, yo, free sweets. But, like...
Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, it was like... I was a really anxious kid as it was.
Yeah, and you were like, I don't want to have to tell everyone, hey, everyone, it's my birthday. And since it's my birthday, I'm giving you all sweets. I hope you enjoy the sweets. And happy birthday to me. Thank you.
You're making this so bad. You're making this really difficult. Y'all.
Is that not what you had to do, no?
Look at you catching me crying on camera.
Is that not what you had to do?
Yeah, basically.
And
like
did you do
told
that?
the teacher it was your birthday, and then like, you know, like people would sing, and then you went around hanging out sweets and stuff. And I remember that I have this one specific memory of this girl, and she was like asking me how old I am, but I wasn't sure entirely if that's what she was asking me.
Yeah, because you're like, what is English?
Yeah, so like I knew how to say, how old was I turning? 10? I was turning 10. So I was like, oh yeah, 10. But then she was confused as to why I said 10. I was like, oh, maybe like the question's different. Like, what's the question?
Oh.
And then so she meant like when is my birthday? And I was like 4th, like on the 4th.
Oh, and you were like 4. And she's like, you're not turning 4, you dummy. You can't be 4. Not in this class. Are you stupid? You don't know your age.
So anyways, moving swiftly along.
Damn. They must have thought you were a dummy.
Do you know what?
Dumb.
There was a lot of like moments that I definitely feel like they would have been funny for people who understood English, because like I had no idea what I was being told.
Yeah.
So like, you know, there were probably like things that like some kids might have asked me that like I have no idea how to answer or anything. Yeah. So you just kind of say that. But like another thing that used to happen, and I noticed this with like a lot of the foreign kids who didn't quite speak the language or spoke the language but didn't really have much friends. Yeah. And it was always the like kids from like other countries, you know, like whatever, and they would kind of just like stand by the wall, like literally just stand by the wall. I don't know if this was just like girls that did it, like did guys do this too, or I don't comprehend what it was. I ended up doing that too, obviously, because I was like, oh, that's
like during playtime. Oh, like everyone's playing and you guys are just like standing on the wall like loners.
And literally,
and you guys weren't even talking to each other. You're just loners.
Because a lot of times, like we wouldn't understand each other. Because
and so like, the teachers would literally see you dumbasses just sitting at the wall and just do nothing and be like, "Damn, look at those little expats right there, just sitting there. Haha, they can't speak English. So no one's their friend."
Thinking back to it, that's so bad, isn't it?
Yeah, like can you imagine being a teacher, like you know why it's happening, like but there's nothing you can do, like
especially if the kid doesn't understand like what's going on.
Yeah.
But you
could always be like, hey guys, throw the ball to this person. Like playing doesn't require language. It's just like here, hey, here.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think that's why it's probably so easy to get into basketball as well. That they're playing like hello, just get the ball in there. That is all. Yeah. That's the goal. But there was one time when, you know, I was sitting by myself by the like wall. This was when I was in like 4th class. And one of the teachers did come up to me, and this was my own teacher because there was different teachers like supervising each day, and she like took me and she went like with me to the class. I was like, guys, play with her. Like, what are you doing? Like, play with her. And then the kids just like were a bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah, especially like primary school kids are like, no.
They did say yes, and then they ended up like, but they didn't want to.
Yeah, obviously that's what I'm saying. It's like no. They're They're like, why are you telling me to play with her? I don't like. She's a weirdo. She doesn't speak English. Let me play with my friends.
Exactly. And I was definitely the weirdo. But they kind of like, I don't know, they were running around holding hands or something, and then I held my hand. Soon after, they just let me go after the teacher left, and I was gone by myself again.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
Well, how did you find that's like an interesting perspective? Like, how did you find it like when you came over and English is gibberish to you and trying to grow up? Like, how did you find it communicating with people? Because you did a bit of English in Romania, but like obviously like it meant nothing when you came here, especially with the Irish accent down in Kerry. It might as well be a different language completely from English. But like, how did you find that? How did you like interpret that and navigate that sea?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
At all. So first of all, you said that I had some English in Romania. Listen, the English in Romania was like Christmas tree, my Christmas tree.
Christmas, so it was just English songs.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, there was a lot of emphasis on learning like songs, like Christmas songs, even in French actually, now that I think back at it. But yeah, I had very, very limited, like beyond like, hi, how are you, that kind of like, my name is.
I can just imagine if like coming to Ireland being like, hello.
Like
how
a sim.
are you?
Do you like a sim?
Yeah, hello, how are you? And they're like, good. Me good too.
And that is all.
And that
is where the conversation had to end.
That is the extent of my English. And then it's just like, huh. And they're like, what's your name? She's like,
huh?
What's that?
It's kind of how it was though. Like, ironically, that is kind of how it was. And there was just a lot of like, I was really upset a lot of the times and frustrated that I didn't understand. And then I was even more frustrated when like my parents couldn't help me with stuff, which is so unfair on them. Because like, not like they were navigating school, they were navigating like real world, like working and stuff. So when I was here, like needing help with like homework, but I think, you know, kids learn very, very quickly, languages and stuff. So it's
because you're not scared. I saw I think you were the one that showed me, or I saw it on Europe or whatever, that it's like kids just aren't scared to be stupid.
No,
like,
they don't care what they sound like.
Yeah, like, you know, like they just imitate whatever you say, and whether it's wrong or not, it doesn't matter. Whereas like an adult, you're like, no, I'm not saying the grammar correctly or whatever. I sound stupid.
Literally.
But no, you just have to learn. Like, it's just, you just gotta keep doing.
That's it. Like, I think I was telling you before as well. I would read a lot of books. Right? I didn't understand a word, like not a word in most of the books, but I was getting through them quite fast. What was happening though, I was getting familiar with how the words were written and how they put into a sentence, even if I would understand maybe like 1-2 words in a sentence. But it was just getting like used to that structure.
It's like, this guy is blue and the tree's green,
you know,
and you're like, what the fuck is green?
Whatever it is. And I had a dictionary as well. Actually, I didn't have like a Romanian one. You
just had an English dictionary.
Yeah, and that was
just explained what the English word meant.
Yeah.
That's not useful.
It wasn't. Thinking back at it, like, I should have probably had a Romanian. Yeah. I didn't. I don't remember.
Like, you see the word and you're like, what is this? And you're just like, flip. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, because obviously I didn't have a phone where I could just look up a word. It was just like, figure it out. I think the other main thing is, though, you do need people to like talk to practice, because like if I didn't have my best friend at the time, which was Increase, right, she was new to the class, and because of that she was also someone who people kind of
ostracize. The weirdos ostracize them.
You know, it happens, and because of that we became really, really good friends. And like obviously she spoke the language, but she never once like judge me for saying things wrong or whatever. She didn't even correct me. She could have at least corrected me and be like, this is how you say it. No, but like she helped me a lot. If I asked like, what does this mean? Like what is this? What is that? She helped me a lot. And there's like a lot of patience that you need to have to deal with like a kid. But regardless, we got along, and we like.
And you're both young, were you?
Yeah, we were the same age.
Like, how old are you guys when you guys met each other?
4th class, so we were about 10.
All right, because you moved to Ireland when you were 9.
Yeah.
So like. And so by the time you met her at 10, you still didn't have any English?
No, because she came in, I want to say like September, October, and I started in September. Okay. We were both quite new, like.
Oh, so you both started at the same time?
Yeah, but she started like a month or 2 later, which made it like harder to integrate or whatever.
I guess, and then you go on from there. But then how long did it take you to like get enough knowledge for to be able to speak just normal casual conversations? Did you?
You know what? We were doing those like classes that were like English classes, right? And by like, and I was put into the very basic ones. So there was like ones that a lot of the foreign students went to in 5th class, but I was put into the like senior, junior, and 5th steps. Like, you know, like basic.
It's like this person doesn't even know what the means.
Nothing. So I was put in those, and I had a really good teacher because it was like one-on-one. So there wasn't like focused on like other students. It was just one-on-one. And it was really good. I feel like I picked up a lot. And by the time I was in like, I want to say like 5th class, I was able to have a conversation like with my friend.
That's
like,
pretty good.
You know, like
within a year. Though.
It was basic. It wasn't correct, but we were able to understand each other a lot more.
Yeah.
And then,
which is all you need to start off.
Exactly. And then in 5th class, I think that's what really advanced me the most, because I was kind of brought into the classes with the other kids for learning English, and I picked up a lot more there. And I remember this one time, this like English teacher, she was like really impressed with me because I said the word multicolor, and she gave me because like something was multicolor, and she gave me a sweetie.
And you said color, not multicolored.
But it was like, what color is this?
It's multicolored.
Yeah, but like that doesn't matter. The fact that I said multicolored.
She's like, wow.
Whoa.
That's a big word.
She gave me a sweetie.
She's like, wow.
Yeah.
Big word.
She was really cool woman though. Yeah. Like if you know, you know. But you know, one time one of my friends that was in that class, like we were helping her move these like documents and stuff over, and one of the girls dropped one of the documents. I thought she was gonna bite her head off, which she almost did, the way she was screaming at her. I don't think
how dare you,
I don't think that's normal.
Stupid little immigrant. We let you come into this country and this is how you're made.
Actually, it was fun fact, that same girl was one of my best friends in college as well. So like, you know, it is what it is. By the time I was in 6th class, they didn't let me go to those classes anymore because apparently I was too advanced.
Yeah, that's good. So. Yeah, no, could never be me. Never had that struggles. I came here and I kind of knew English, you know, as you should if you're coming into a country. I kind of knew the dumb things. I had accent and I had like, you know, pidgin English, but like.
Did you actually have an accent?
Of course I had an accent. How would I not have an accent?
That's crazy.
Like, I lived in Nigeria like all my life up until I came to Ireland. Of course I had an accent.
Me, you're giving you flack for having an accent. Meanwhile, I didn't even speak the language.
Yeah, no, I had an accent, and like obviously that took time for it to go like in my normal day to day. But like obviously I still have that accent. I'm speaking to other like Nigerian people or my parents, like, you know, obviously because they're Nigerian, like all the African people. That's when the accent will come out. But most of the time it's like just this.
Yeah.
But honestly, that was pretty much it. But I guess like the good thing about educated together is we never really had that segregation, like, you know, of like kids who knew, because there wasn't like, there was only a few Irish kids, and even the Irish kids that were there were all like willing to be friends with you, you know. So like we were all playing together and learning together. So there was never any like, oh, haha, you can't speak English, stay in the corner. Because we had lots of people who couldn't speak English, like, you know, so we all just figured it out and played together.
That's cute. So, I like that.
You know, the way it should be, not just putting the immigrants in the corner, standing by the wall. But
that's the thing, because going into secondary school and stuff, it remained like that.
Yeah, because you don't have an established friend group, like.
It just didn't change. And because obviously for us it was like presentation, and a lot of them who were in the primary school went to the same secondary school. So it was the same cliques, the same groups, the same everything, and it was just like, make new friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just can't.
Yeah, which is pretty hard, I guess, especially for girls, because girls are way more
cliquey, very cliquey,
dickheads than guys are. Like, you know, guys would be like, yeah, wagwan fam, and then you're part of the friend group, you know. Girls are like,
there was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of bullying. High school bully.
Bristol bully.
Yeah, like a lot of my friends, like even close friends now that we've stayed friends, because
Mm-hmm.
them who struggle together stay together. They're bullied a lot too, and they spoke the language. So like,
Yeah, well, girls are really bad. Like honestly, like girls are way worse than boys. I don't care what anyone says. Especially when it comes to at like friend groups and like hating each other and this, like it's just so bad. Like guys are like we're physical, and we're kind of like dickheads, but like I feel like girls, the mental part is way worse than the physical abuse, honestly.
do you find like with guys, you would kind of just like fight it out and then just continue being friends or whatever?
Well, you'd fight out and just not talk, like,
Okay.
if like you weren't friends, like if you guys, you'd fight out and just move on. And it's just like, oh, I don't like that person, that other person doesn't like me, your life. Well, girls, it's like, if you cross a girl, they make it their sole purpose to ruin your life.
Yeah.
And continue to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Like it could have been done, dusted, but they still they want to ruin you. I don't know what it is in your brains that let that work that way, but that's how it is. Like,
And there's grudges, like,
yeah, grudges are deep.
held
Deep.
for lifetimes.
Like they say, like, fear God and after that fear women. Like honestly, because the mental games women be playing, like sometimes is actually insane. Like, and you guys have been doing it from young. That's the thing. That's why you're so good at it when you're older.
Yeah.
You've been doing it since
Practice. Hey, do y'all need 10 years experience? I got it.
Do you know
what's funny though? In secondary school, I remember that like there were, for example, one of my other best friends, Nandi, right? She started as well, cried on her first day, struggled to make friends.
Of course.
I was like, come under my wing. Like, I got you. You know what I mean? But then some other girl started and she was from Spain. Automatically, she was cool.
Yeah.
She was like,
that's
cool.
actually very interesting that you say, for some reason, mainland European kids get better treatment than like Eastern European kids and like, especially Africans. Like, forget about us.
You're not on the list.
They're not even on the list, but like mainland European kids get treated way better than Eastern European kids. Even like my cousin, he started school like here,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's just like, oh, fresh off the boat, like KSI fucking voice and stuff and making fun of him. And they didn't really want to be friends with him.
Yeah.
But then a Spanish girl came in and she doesn't even speak that good English. In secondary school, by the way, have you like fifth year, whatever. But she was automatically cool because she's from Spain.
That's the
like,
one. That's the one.
Spanish, French, German. They're like, ooh, exotic. Exotic? Nigga? The fuck you mean exotic?
Everyone else, bar mainland Europe, is exotic. Yeah. Like, can we just...
Oh, no. It's actually too funny.
I don't know why that's the case.
I don't get it.
I don't know. And I'm like, this chap right here.
Exotic.
We're on the same level.
In Spain, they're not like... Bro, in Africa, I'm seeing actual wild animals. That's actually exotic. This person's probably the most they've seen is like a gopher.
And like, can we just talk about how a lot of mainland Europe, like you're looking at Spain, Italy and stuff, they're pretty much like Eastern Europe as well. Like there isn't...
It's such a great
It's
difference.
just, I guess it's not cool because they weren't going there on their summer vacation.
Like Spain?
Like,
oh my God. Me and my parents go to Lanzarote every year.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you going this summer?
And that was also another thing. Fucking summer trips. I never had that. White people do have that though. You had it.
I didn't.
Even, you were still going back to Romania.
Sometimes.
I saw Nigeria once as a child.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
Like Africans don't go back. Don't do holidays.
But it's expensive to even go back home.
But no, not even go back home. We don't do
Yeah.
holidays. And this is like something my dad and I have talked about. And it's like a big... It's not like a failing point, but like it's kind of like a sore point in our community because like we should be doing it more because like the thing is by going on holidays, you don't have to go on lavish holidays. It just gives your kid experience of the outside world and like opens up their brains, see whatever, blah blah blah. But like Africans will not go back on holidays. They will not go back home. They will not go on holidays. It's like a symptom because of like we constantly send money back home.
Yeah.
We constantly send money back home.
Yeah.
And like we always want to save money, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But we never get to enjoy any of the money that we've worked for ourselves. Like my parents, like will make all this money. They'll spend all this money for us, obviously, for education purposes, making sure that we have all our clothes, we have our books,
basic
everything,
necessities, of course.
And then you will also make sure that you guys have a house to live, food to eat, and then the rest of the money gets sent back home.
Yeah.
but you don't actually use any, and then you save the money, blah blah blah, for a rainy day. You build houses back at home, whatever. But you never actually spend all that money on yourself in the current point in
or
time.
your children.
You know, like you don't actually enjoy your money.
Yeah.
You know, and you're essentially like, oh, eventually once my house is built, and when it's built, you build a second house, build a third house. You have all these houses, and you're like, eventually I'll enjoy them. But like when you're old,
and also
you
like
can't do
enjoy
anything.
the home back thousands of miles away.
Yeah, like,
and your
you
kids
know,
kind of just grew up like,
and they leave you, like they're not going back to Nigeria, so like
that's it.
You know, like, so what's the point? And obviously, like, it's good to have like, don't get me wrong, I think the building the house is very good. I love that. Like, even like Eastern Europeans do that, so I think it's nice to have that house back home. I fully agree. But at the same time, I feel like you should also build that house, and then maybe after you build that house, or while you're building a house, spend that money on yourself in that country, because you don't have to send that much money back home. You can enjoy your own money too, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like, it's the same for us, you know. Like, my mom worked really hard to like try to build a home, like back home her home for her family. Like, obviously her mom and her dad, you know, who passed away now, but like, do you know, that was the goal. And a little part of me, I don't know, maybe I'm selfish or whatever, I felt a little bit of like resentment. I was like, why are we not like enjoying life like all these people, you know what I mean? Like, look at all. And
because
it wasn't
like, I'm an Oyinbo person too.
hello
I should be doing Oyinbo people shit.
why am I not? And the thing is, it wasn't even seeing like just everyone in school, it was my own cousins, you know. And I was like, god damn.
Oh yeah, because your cousins actually went on holidays.
They go to Spain and like whatever. It wasn't like as much as like, you know, all the kids like every summer, but like every summer, to be fair, I feel like they did try to do something. And I get it, like, I don't want to
I feel like, think about this, your uncle and aunt came through from other European places before they came to Ireland. And I think that makes a big difference in their willingness to travel during and do whatever, because they've already experienced and gone through, so like they are willing to bring their kids there. But whereas your mom went from like Romania, Ireland, she's like, I'm here to get job, fucking work hard and do whatever. She's like, that's like her focus. She needs to stay in the currents, try to do whatever, you know, for a better future for you, better future for her, a better future for her family back home. So like, I think it makes it harder to be like, it's really hard to justify a holiday. And that's the thing, like, it's really hard to justify a holiday, because you're like, that's money just wasted, right? And you know, because our parents are trying for us,
when you know what is happening back home,
and you know
and
how,
you know the struggle.
And like especially like you, like what my parents always do is like they convert how much euro it is in naira, and that's the biggest downfall, I think, because when you're like, damn, this is that much in there, and you know how much that can do, you're like, wow. But like, to be honest, I have to give it to my parents. Like, I've said it to my dad, like, they really tried, like, despite the fact like we've only ever been on, so like before I like became an adult and whatever, we only been on like 2 actual proper holidays. I went to Nigeria, went back home obviously, but we also went to Paris. They took us, and I have to give props to my dad, because I now know, after taking this one to Disneyland Paris, how expensive Disneyland Paris is. And he took me, my 2 brothers, and my mom obviously out there, and we all went to a very expensive trip, you know. But to be honest, to me, that one trip makes up for like all the Lanzarotes every summer, you know. Like, I'm very grateful for it, and like what my parents were able to do for me with what they had, you know. Because you know, like we I think you and I understand, like, our parents were in tough shit, they struggled, you know, that came from, like, especially when you come here and you have nothing, whatever, like essentially poverty.
The thing is, like, not only do we know, we were there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was literally thinking the other day, and I was just having like a little like, what am I grateful for today moment, and it was like while I was in the shower and having like running water. Sounds extreme, but I didn't have running water like back in Romania. And
yeah, absolutely. You just use a bucket and you fill up, you get it from a well.
That's it. That is what you do. And like we had a pump in our garden, but like that wasn't drinkable, but you could use it to like wash yourself after you boiled it. So
also,
like,
deep that, like, you can't drink this, but I can boil it, wait for it to cool down, and then I can bathe
in it. Like, it is what it is. Like, you mix it with a bit of cold water, you know. But it was like, you know, there wasn't like you just hop in the shower whenever you wanted, or like, oh, I got a bit dirty, like, I'm just gonna go take a quick rinse. It's not a thing, you know. There was like the kind of like ritual of like every evening, and like everyone in the home had to like bathe. And like for me, it was my mom and my dad who would like shared like a little thing, like a bathing bath thing. And then that's, you know, that was the shower. And then like maybe I wash my hair once a week or whatever. And it was just these kind of things that like you don't deep anymore, and you don't
no, you're just like, I just around the shower.
Think of that.
Yeah,
and like,
no.
I just had a little moment of like, this is what I'm really grateful for right now.
Yeah, and I think like it builds character and stuff. Like, because I remember myself, like all the times they'd have to go to the well, pick up, like, because in where we lived, we did have like this well literally like inside like this apartment block, whatever. And then you fill up the bucket and you'd fill it up, and then
was it shared?
Yeah. Everyone in the like apartment block, you shared it, and whatever, you go grab it, take it. And I think it was an eco-tune. My dad will correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, but you take it, and we used cold water. There was no boiling water. You just take the boiling water, you just wash yourself with that, and like, it was just like this normal bathroom. You just do whatever, and I just remember it so vividly and everything. Especially when we went back, we had to use the same thing. Obviously, like there was no shower, so like, and stuff like that. But like, obviously now if I go back, because I will be going back. We have showers and we have XYZ, whatever. But at the time, obviously, we didn't. And it's just like stuff you look back and you're like, damn, I can't believe I used to do that.
Came from nothing.
No, like even when I first came to Ireland, everything was such a big culture shock.
100%.
First, it was my first time seeing so many white people in my life. I was like, I was like, Mom, look, Dad, look, there's so many white people. They're everywhere. Apples, I love apples as a kid. Like my parents would go out their way to get me apples, like in Nigeria and stuff like that. But then when I came to Ireland, there were just apples everywhere.
Apples.
Every store I went to, there was apples, and I was always eating apples. And then eventually, one day, my mom was like at a store, I mean, like, oh, Fred, do you want some apples? And I was like, no, I don't want apples. Everywhere we go, there are apples, Mom. There are apples everywhere. I don't want any more, And like, those are like kind of stuff that's like so different, like and stuff like that. And like, it makes such a big difference, like growing up, especially when you like come from the other side and then you go here, and it's like the big difference in everything, and the way everything, like in school, like Nigerian school, I was getting beat, like, like I was like, the teachers are beating me, everyone was beating me, but then here it's like, no, like because we came into Ireland just after the whole beating kids, like they couldn't beat kids when we were in like primary school, so like literally just like teachers being like, oh, I get mad at you, but that's the most. You're like, what the hell?
They tell your mom, which you don't want that, obviously. God, no. But no. Another thing, like, I think I had like a bit of a whoa when I think we went to, I don't remember, it was like someone's home, and there was like a shelf cupboard thing full of like sweeties and stuff. I'm like,
well, you can afford all those.
Whoa, like it was.
I can get one sweetie, like one jelly.
Like it was shocking to see like people have like an abundance of stuff, and then it's just like, like back in Arena growing up, it wasn't like that. And like my granddad, he would like get me like a bag of sweeties every time he'd come over. He would like cycle miles and miles to come to Udveen, like where we were, and he would always bring me a little sweetie, and I was always so excited, and it was just like, those sweeties lasted me for such a long time.
Yeah, you had to. I remember the days of sweets. Like, this all comes back to more penny, and this is why like I'm a frugal person, but that frugality is helping me, because like my mom's gonna kill me for saying this, but I don't care. My mom was always buying the knockoff of everything, right? She loves doing that. She never, like, to be fair to her, like, she eventually did start buying like the real stuff of some stuff, and she was actually very good for that. Like, no, I'm giving you props for her credits due, okay? Don't kill me. But like, sometimes she just buy the knockoff of stuff and whatever. And like, getting the actual thing was such a treat. One, I liked all the knockoffs anyway, because I didn't know any better.
Of course.
But as you grow up in here, you start to learn the differences. Like Rice Krispies is definitely different from like Rice Pops, or whatever. You're like, there's a difference in taste. Like, I'll never forget, there was one time, I think I was in second school, so I was like a teenager or whatever, that my mom, they didn't have Rice Krispies or whatever, and she didn't want to buy it because it was expensive or something at some point, like, it was like the price went up or something like that, so she bought some other one, like from like little Aldi, and then I was eating it, and I was like, this Rice Krispies tastes weird, Mom. Whatever. And then she's like, really? And then I was like, yeah. And then she's like, Farouk, you actually know your food, because she's like, that's not Rice Krispies, like whatever. And I was like, I knew it. I was like,
it's the rice pop.
I was like, this is the rice pop, like, But no, she'd like, instead of buying Fanta, she'd buy that 3-liter, I think that like fake Fanta or whatever. To be honest, I like that. I think it tastes really nice. And then like she'd buy like all these other stuff, but for the longest time when we first moved, I wasn't like, I didn't get like sweets, even like the knockoffs. I didn't get those much. So anytime my mom would like get us sweets, me and boss were freaking greening from ear to ear, man. Especially if we got Kinder, we were gassed.
Yeah.
I loved Hubba Bubba, you know, the like rolls, everything, because my mom would like sometimes get it, and just getting it at one time is just like a treat. Whereas all my friends were getting it like left, right, center. They didn't deep it, you know. But to me, it was deep. It was like, I'm finally getting this thing, you know.
Joe, I'm just remembering so much stuff just talking about everything today. I remember like in Romanian school, like you would take whatever sandwich, or like they give you sometimes like a croissant, like milk or whatever for free. But it wasn't like snacks. You wouldn't like, people weren't bringing snacks or like sweeties or something like that. And so when I came here, and you know, like, my parents always got the knockoff stuff. It is what it is. But like my mom was never shopping in like, you know, the bigger stores to even see like these things.
They weren't going to the Duns or Tesco's.
No,
they were going to Little and Aldi.
Literally. And I remember in school, all these kids came in with like these cheese strings, and man, I wanted these cheese strings so bad.
It's so funny because like you just see other kids having the thing, like, and you're like, why does every Tom, Dick, and Harry have this thing? And I don't.
Everyone's just pulling out of their lunchboxes like, collectively. I'm like, what's going on? And then I was like, Mom, I want the cheese that you go like that. And she's like, what?
It's like, cheese doesn't work that way, love.
What are you talking about? It's in your sandwich. Shut up. Like, and I was like, no, like you pull it apart. No idea what I was talking about. Did not have cheese strings. Cheese strings was a thing, and then it was like Froobs, you know, the yogurt.
Yeah, the Froobs yogurt.
Didn't have that.
Yeah, no.
And she was like, I looked for it everywhere, because it was like an Aldi or a Lidl or something. It wasn't in there.
Obviously, yeah. But that's also another interesting, it's like, how, like, once you get the stuff, even if you do it, like, my mom was a criminal for Capri Sun. That shit was on lockdown. So my mom would buy Capri Sun for us to take for lunch. You could have one Capri Sun for lunch, you know, that's all you get. You know, the carton packets, you know, you'd never get to do that nowadays because it's freaking global warming and shit. Like, that's not recyclable. But like, you know, you'd have those ones, right? Those carton stuff, and you'd have like whatever, like 10 or whatever amount. So that's 2 weeks worth of Capri Suns, right? You are not allowed to touch those Capri Suns outside of taking it for lunch, because if you did, that was beef, you know? And she's like, if you do it and you finish it early, I'm not buying it for weeks. And my mom wouldn't buy it for weeks. Like, there was one time.
So y'all tested the limit?
No, I tested it. Like, I took Capri Sun, I finished it, and she did not buy Capri Sun for ages. And then I was like, yeah, nah, I gotta. And every time I'd have that Capri Sun during lunch, it was like,
just squeeze it. Like,
I was squeezing the life out of it. I was getting the most I could, and I would just be there like, yeah, I was like, you know, it's like, God was giving me juice. Like, I felt amazing. It was like the best. Like, I'd never have any juice as good as that, just because I could only have that one time during lunch. And then the weekend, you know, like, you go by, and then Monday you're like, wow.
Yeah, literally, like rationing things.
You know?
And like, I would say your mom had to, but there were like more of you, whereas it was just one of me, so it was easier. Joe, I just remembered, there was one time in primary school, I didn't know the rules. Like, there were rules around what you can bring into school. Like, I didn't know that. Yeah. And you're only allowed like natural like juices or like water, you know? And
no sweeties, because they don't want kids having like sugar
and
stuff.
I got one of the bottles with like it was just like natural juice, I think from Lidl or something. Yeah. And that was empty. Fill that up with fizzy drink. You're not allowed to bring that in. And so I'm here, like, and I want to drink it. And because this thing was shaking, like, in my bag, like, all day.
Lol.
But you know what? It was, like, one of those that you put your mouth on and, like, you pull it. Like, it was the, like, things that you, like...
Yeah, the one of the balls you go... Psh.
And I did that in my mouth. Like...
It was like I wasn't ready for that.
It just... And my eyes were watering, and I was just, like fizz was everywhere, and I think I got given out to because I came.
They're like, why do you have that? You're not allowed to have fizzy drinks, don't you know? It's not good for your body.
It's a good rule, a great rule even. But
yeah, no, man, that shit growing up was actually fucking funny. Like, especially just coming from like, you know, underprivileged background and going into whatever. But it's like, it's mad because like if you. Like, especially, like, obviously, I don't, like, in Romania, I think it's a little bit easier because you guys are still in Europe.
Yeah.
But, like, for us, like, Fun fact is a lot, like, even though my parents literally finished like university in Nigeria and stuff and all that stuff, all their documentation, like when they came here, wasn't accepted.
Same.
Like, you know, yeah. So like, because the idea is they can forge it. Yes, they can, but like do some fucking aptitude test or some shit. I don't know. But like, yeah, they didn't accept those things, and so like you have to start all over again, you know, which is the big thing for immigrants, because it's like, not only did like, because like my parents literally went through university, did all that stuff.
Yeah.
They both had really good jobs and everything back home, and then they came here, and then it just did like, you know, for us, whatever, better life, with everything, you know, and boom, it's like, oh, start all over again. And you're like, what? Bro, I literally, like my dad literally had experience working like the 7-Up bottling factory as like a manager, you know, of like the place, and they're like, yeah, that means nothing to us.
I just don't
You know?
get it. I don't understand, because the skill is the exact same.
And then especially like the thing is, in the day and age where you have to interview and then you're on probation, like you would know, like first you find out probably in an interview if this person knew jack shit or not.
They don't
right?
want to give them the
And
opportunity,
two,
though.
they wouldn't, you like, you see them in the job what they do, but it's literally, as we always say, it's racially motivated, like, you know,
100%.
like it's discriminatory, because they don't want to give them the opportunity, they don't
100%.
want to give them the chance, you know, like there have been many chances like that my dad was well overqualified for jobs and they still wouldn't even look at this way, just because, you know, it was a black man from Africa and stuff. And it's very vexing, especially when your parents are going through that, and it's very vexing for them because they're trying to like do the best for their family, but they keep getting turned down for no reason.
Yeah.
And then it's vexing, I think, from a child's perspective, you know, like I was very aware of it, I was very self-aware of it when I was like, my younger brothers wouldn't be as much, obviously, but I was very aware of like the things my parents were going through and stuff. And it's very annoying. You're like, why is this not, you know, like going the way it should, like blah de blah, and you see them struggling and stuff. But you know, like, and like any immigrant, like you always have to give, like, no matter what your relationship is with your parents, you have to give kudos to your parents for like doing so much for you.
It's such a struggle. I don't think people realize how much of a struggle it is for an immigrant. Like they would put 110% because they had to put 110% if they wanted to get anywhere. And like with the documentation and stuff, it's true for us as well in Romania. So like a lot of my mom's friends, she has friends who are like accountants, have completed universities in Romania, and like this is hard because not everyone can afford to send, especially when my mom was young and stuff, they're not affording to send kids to university, but they did. They had documentation and everything, and when they came here, they were like, nah, you need to do your junior cert. They had to do junior cert, leaving cert, get like some diploma thing to recheck that like whatever they're capable of, and then only then did any of it matter.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, cause like even my dad, like he was lucky because in the interview for his like for college or whatever, he like clearly he knew his shit because he was working as like a lead director, like whatever, manager, whatever, for the 7-Up bullying factory in Nigeria, like, and stuff. And so like I think he was allowed to like go into like the second last year or something like that. So like skip 2 years or whatever in college. But like everyone else, even my mom, she had to start college all over again, do 4 years all over again, you know. And even at that, it's like the degree they got is lesser than the degree they had, literally, you know. And so, and it's so annoying. Like I honestly don't know how I did that. Like me, I would just be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm going back home, honestly. Like I really don't have that patience, you know. But,
and with kids after you as well,
yeah,
like
the raising kids, literally everything, you know. Like I remember when we moved here and we were living like in, like anyone who knows Rose Garden, Tralee, we're living in the apartments above that, you know. And eventually we got like a council house like down the road, and it was like probably like maybe a 10-15 minute walk down the road, and we had to like, we didn't even have much of that stuff, but like, you know, we got some stuff by the time. And it was like a 1-bedroom, whatever, you know, like I mean 1 room, like it was room with a bathroom,
like a studio,
you know, like a studio essentially. And so we had, like my mom and I literally moved all our stuff like in a stroller, and like me carrying it, her carrying it down to the house, go drop the stuff there, come back, walk back, and do stuff like that, you know. And it's like a lot of things like they do and all that. It's just, it's mad, you know. Gotta give you guys fair props for that. Anyway,
100%.
You know, but yeah, no, like there's so much like reminiscing of like your childhood, especially like I think it's interesting, especially from an immigrant standpoint, especially when you're like, you, in our position, we grew up in our countries and then came here but we're still young and everything. And seeing that, I feel like it really builds your character and changes your world perspective on stuff.
I think you're a lot more empathetic as well as a
Yeah.
person, and you're just able to relate. I think this is why us as like immigrants are a very close knit kind of community,
Yeah.
because we understand each other a lot more than people who maybe like grew up a lot more privileged.
Yeah.
Like even kids who come here and they had it like easy back home or something.
Yeah, like they come here and they have money. Like the people who are coming from like Spain or Germany and they have the money and they're like living integrating into society straight away.
We did not get along that well.
They're just moving in straight away, like being like, yeah, we just wanted to change the scenery.
The people in my secondary school liked them, so they would have been your friends. Just
But yeah, I know all that stuff makes a big difference in like how you grow, and obviously it makes a big difference for like if you grow up here. Like, but then I think the people who would have the closest experience are people who were underprivileged themselves, who grew up in Ireland, like doing that and like kind of being ostracized and stuff like that, like and having issues and it's pretty interesting how all that like shapes you to become like who you are as an adult. Then
I agree. So I guess to end off today's episode. What are you grateful for today?
Well, I'm pretty grateful for my mom and dad and all the things they did in it. They really tried for me, Sha. And it's crazy to think. And like obviously, like things have changed, but like Nigeria's just a mad place. Like it's crazy busy, crazy everything, And but they left all their happiness and all their family and all the the jobs, like my dad literally had like 2 cars in Nigeria before he left, and everything, because he was doing so well for himself at such a young age, and he was like, nah, like this place is really good and there's a lot of money there, but there's also a lot of corruption and all that stuff that he doesn't like, and it's like, let me just move to Europe for my kids. And like they both gave up all their stuff, packed it up, started all over again, and did it. So I really appreciate that. Cheers, guys.
And there you have it.
How about yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
Obviously my mom too. I'm really, really grateful for her. Wouldn't be here without her. I feel like she powered through and she had to kind of do it single-handedly as well, which is even more respectable, because at least when you have 2 people working, it's easier to kind of like support each other. Whereas my mom just kind of like was working by herself, and it was just kind of like really rough, but like she made it happen, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for her. But I wanted to ask, like, what's one thing that you're grateful for, like, in terms of, like, like, things, like, in your day-to-day life today, that maybe you would... maybe a 9-year-old you would be like, wah.
That 9-year-old me, if you're being specific with 9-year-old me, it would be like, God damn, you got your own TV and PS5? You got your own TV and PS5? I was thinking that. Because I used to have to go to my friend's house, Shane. He's actually one of my first Irish friends. And I had to go to his house all the time to just play games, because I didn't have any consoles or anything, And there was such a point that he actually gave out to me, like, you only come here to play my games? You don't come here for me? And I was like, no. But my back of my head, I was like, yes. But no, I was still friends. I'm only joking. But yeah, no. If you were to tell 9-year-old Farouk that he had his own PS5 and TV, he'd be like, I can't believe it.
Baller life.
He's like, even if I had just those 2 things and I was a bum, he'd still be happy, to be honest. So
that's so cute. Oh my god.
Yeah, no. So that's definitely what I'm grateful for. How about yourself?
I think I already kind of mentioned my one. And it is the shower. For me right now, I think I want to have like a little segment on our podcast where we talk about what we're grateful for every day, like on the start or the end of each episode.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It will.
I'll make
Farouk answer, but definitely the shower. It's something that I'm really grateful for. The fact that I could just jump in whenever I want and not have to heat up water and everything. And
being clean is overrated, man. Shower every day.
So take advantage of it, especially in this heat. Keep yourself fresh.
Yeah, don't be dying of dehydration. Take care of yourselves.
Till next time.
Peace.